I don't know if you can hear the birds singing, but it's the most gorgeous day in Blakemere. Early April, early morning, and I thought, why sit on the sofa when you and I can go off and find out all about Buns Hill Farm. Alison, who works at Wiggly Wigglers a couple of days a week, is one of our best suppliers, and she grows the wildflowers on and also puts all the hedging packs together and lives on Buns Hill Farm. And so today I thought we'd go and find out about her Swarbrel sheep, her wildflowers, and see what's going on behind the scenes. So I've just walked into the garage. I'm going to get in the Wiggly Mini, start it up, put the roof down, and you and I are going on an adventure. So Al, where are we off to?
We're off to see the Swarbrel sheep. They're down in the far field from the farm, so we just jumped in the pickup. Not the quad bike, my brother's got it, unfortunately, Hev, so you have to...
Oh, I don't get a ride like
No, you don't go, no, sorry.
But the only thing is, you've got a big injection thing in your hand.
No, it's an
Is that for me?
It's just in case I catch the one with a bad eye, that's all.
Oh, what is it then?
It's just eye ointment. It's got a bit of a cloudy eye, so we might put a bit in.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
We see these gorgeous black lambs. Right, off we go.
I've brought them a bit of corn because they might not come to you, Hev. They don't know you.
No.
They put in this field yesterday for a bit more grass, and here they are. Here we have 14 ewes and 4 yearlings in here with 27 lambs.
Gosh, that's not a bad average.
So it's 200% this year out of the 14.
So that's a record, is it?
Well, it's pretty good. We had a couple of triplets, a couple of singles, which evened it out a bit. Triplets get fed on the bottle twice a day just to help them a bit. Obviously the mother can't cope feeding 3, and they're special sheep and they need it. They're so cute.
And the ewes are kind of brown with a white stripe down their front.
Yeah, white blaze, which can go under the chin but not into the fleece. So you'll be able to recognise the good
But the
ones.
lambs are black and white.
Yeah, aren't they beautiful? And this one here, this is a ewe lamb, this one. And this, I think this is show potential. That's my best.
Well, I'll take a picture of that one. Have you got a name for that one, or is there a number?
It hasn't got a name. That's number 6.
Number 6.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of number 6.
Do you want me to call them up for a photo
Yeah,
shoot?
absolutely. Will it work?
It might do. Come on! They're not really hungry because they're in the new field. Come on!
There's absolutely no interest at all because they are all fat. Oh, I don't know, they might come.
Probably the yearlings will come. Come on! Or we could walk up and see them.
Okay.
A chap from the village this morning phoned, and there's a drain up in the hedgerow there that's uncovered. And one of the lambs was stuck in this drain deep down, and he's all fine and good now. But I counted 27 lambs this morning, so he wasn't in there very long. But apparently his dog was barking in the hedge and found him. So Thank you, Mr. Prothero, for rescuing my little lamb.
Has he covered the drain up?
Yeah, we've covered it up now. It was a bit awful. Could have been a bit drastic there.
So we're just walking out to, what's this, Al? This sort of trailer.
A lamb
small
creep feeder.
Right.
The ewes can't get any feed. It's for the lambs only, and they put their heads in, and it's got a spring action, so that they can't get their heads stuck. Once they get a bit older, you bring that bar back so that only the lambs can put their heads in.
So the lid's on a hook, and then the little lambs can get their heads through the bar to eat the food, but the adults' heads won't fit.
No, they won't fit in there.
That's
this
handy.
is my favourite.
Ah, let's take a picture.
There he is. Thank you, number 6. Come on then. Oh. Those are wrong markings, these. They look more like call them badger faces. A bit of a throwback somewhere along the line.
So they've got like white
They've got
eyeliner
white,
on,
yeah.
haven't they?
And they've got white in their fleeces in the neck, so that's not a category one. And this is a tiddler that we fostered onto the ewe that lost 2 lambs.
How did you do that?
Well, we put him in the pen with her, but his mother didn't have enough milk, so we swiped her off and put him on the one that lost 2. She was only a yearling, and it's good for her to rear a lamb in the first year.
So how old are these lambs then?
From around the 25th of February onwards.
So they grow at a massive rate then?
They do. If I show you the main flock of lambs, they're much bigger than those. I think it's because they're a bit deceiving. They've got quite long legs, haven't they?
Yeah, they have got long legs. Let me get you with them then.
Yeah. Little lammies. Come here.
So, Al, how many males and how many females, and what do we refer to them as at this age?
Well, the males are referred to as tup lambs, really, but they have been castrated, so they'll be wethers.
Right.
I don't keep them to use as rams. I sell them as some stores, or they go for fats, like I've just sold last year's in the market recently.
Right, so explain stores and fats.
Stores are last year's lambs, basically, that go to market, and then someone else buys them on to fatten them.
Right.
Fats, they go direct from the farm to the market and then direct to the abattoir. Sometimes they don't fatten straight away. You may want to sell them as stores if you haven't got enough grass or feed for them.
And without getting into too much detail, how did you castrate them?
Well, I could show you with a lastrator and a little...
Is it an orange rubber band?
Orange rubber band, yes.
But isn't that incredibly painful?
No, as long as you do it before they're 2 or 3 days old, and then it isn't painful at all.
And what's the point?
Because you don't want to keep them all as tup lambs, and you can keep them with the females, you see, before they go to market. So
does it set them back?
Obviously the tup lambs would grow quicker if they weren't castrated, but not too much, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't like loads of tup lambs around the place. You get all sorts of goings on. All sorts of things going on in the countryside.
And that's enough of that, dear listener. And what about the ewes then? How long will they be providing milk for the lambs?
Sort of till about August, end of August time.
Right.
And then we'll wean them, put them in separate fields. We may sell some of the ewe lambs as ewe lambs this autumn in October at the annual sale, or I may keep some for myself for replacement flock, or sell them as yearlings. It just depends on what they look like and what's going on, really.
And you know, this is how you imagine the perfect farm to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it does look perfect now. They're all out in a nice green field. They don't care about us. But when we were lambing in February, and it was absolutely chucking it down with rain, and we couldn't put them out because they were tiny, and some of the ewes didn't have milk, and then we lost a couple of lambs that were born dead, and that was awful. And it's not all glory, but it's really lovely to see now.
But you know, if I wanted to buy meat, this is the picture I've got in my mind. You know, we are stood looking over this glorious view of, I suppose, northern Herefordshire, really, over there, is it?
Well, West
Herefordshire. The sun is on our back. The sheep are just, well, there's just, I don't know, a few inches of grass. It's completely green.
Gorgeous.
The birds are singing. If I was a sheep, this is it, isn't it?
It's the best, yeah.
And they're going to stay out here, well, presumably move fields.
Yeah.
But their life is set for pleasure.
Yeah, it is happy. They get a bit of corn twice a day because they're special sheep, and they get plenty of water, and then they come in for their feet to be trimmed soon, very soon.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to come in because we have to register all the females, which takes a bit. You have to tag every lamb and that sort of thing.
Register them with who?
With the Zwartbles Sheep Society.
Okay.
Yeah, so they will have their special unique numbers.
And is it usual to breed pedigrees for meat? Because that's essentially what you end up doing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. I mean, the ram lambs go for meat. They're supposed to be very lean, and we were going to put a couple in the freezer.
Yeah.
I don't think I could eat my own.
Really?
Yeah. A lady in Marden near here, she butchers her own, and she says they are very lean. But it's the way to go, and a lot of people are crossbreeding the swart blessed with other breeds now for the growth rate and leaner meat. So yeah, it's a way forward.
They're a big sheep, aren't they?
They are a big sheep. I mean, they got a lot of wool on this time of year, I suppose. When they're shorn, they look completely different.
And when are you shearing?
Well, I like to shear in May as long as the weather's right. I mean, if it goes really cold, there's no way I will shear. They're just because they're a bit sensitive sheep. I lost one in shearing last year. Then the following day, she was dead in the field, and she was one of my favourite. And this is what sheep do. They sort of, she didn't like it. She was out. Maybe it gone a bit cold.
My dad
gave her a
used
bit
to
of
say,
a shock.
My dad used to say, there's a one ambition in pedigree sheep, and that's to die.
They do like dying, and it's always the best one that does die, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
this tiddler of yours
I know,
is eating my trouser
I think
leg.
it's hungry hef. Isn't it cute?
Yeah, it's lovely.
It should be with its mother, really, but she doesn't really like him.
Have you trimmed their tails? Because they've got a little white bit on the end, haven't they?
No, usually the tails are docked. In the main flock, the rubber ring goes on the tail as well.
Yeah.
But with this breed, you keep the tails, and they should always have a bit of white on the ends. One lamb in here has only got all black tail, which is wrong marking. Yeah.
And one's got a very long white bit.
Yeah, that's too much white.
And now the lamb has undone the zip on the bottom of my trousers.
Oh, you could go with toast and jam, chocolate sheep.
And so can we come back for shearing?
Yeah, come back for shearing.
That would be great fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be good.
Because I can roll a fleece.
Can you?
I can.
Hey.
Thank you very much, Al. We're going to go and have a look at the plants and see behind the scenes in the polytunnel. Just walking on the way back to the wildflowers, and Al says, oh, we must just go and see if we can see the yellow rattle. But actually, the whole grass is covered in massive worm casts.
Yeah.
You must have a heck of a worm count here.
Yeah, we could do big business, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this whole area is covered in yellow rattle, but because we put the sheep on, it grazes it down.
Right.
We tend to do that now because otherwise it takes half a field up of yellow rattle and we haven't got a lot of grass.
Yeah. We had a lady this morning who said that her turf was quite patchy. So I went out into the wildflower meadow, and actually ours is quite patchy, and I wondered, is it because the grass grows before the flowers?
Yeah, the grass will always grow before the flowers usually.
So the space is probably quite good, is it?
Bit of meadow sweet down there.
Oh yeah. The space is probably good then, is it?
Yeah, and she'd probably want to trim the grass down to allow the flowers to come up.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will take over.
And I tell you what, last year we supplied Torquay Council with hundreds and hundreds of plug plants.
Yeah.
You remember, because we sent the boxes and you told me off. Well, Rach heard on the radio, on the news, the national news, that Torquay Council groundsman had sadly mowed off all the wildflowers. And so there's a big row about it. You had a lady on the phone who's a fan of Farmer Phil's, didn't you?
Oh yeah, this morning actually, Vivian from London. Hello Vivian, if you're listening. She gave Farmer Phil and Toast a great big kiss, and I've actually emailed Farmer Phil, so I'm sure he'll love that.
I've got a chap here who says, talking about Farmer Phil, now just get me my paperwork out, and it's Stephen Humber, and he sent me in a whole lot of favourite things he likes. But his favourite thing, he says, I love the podcast and they always make me smile, but my favourite has got to be the one on the combine with Farmer Phil. So it's just the Farmer Phil fan club.
Yeah, it is really.
If you've got any messages for Farmer Phil, dear listener, preferably negative, send them in to Heather at wigglyWigglers.co.uk. Always like to have a good balance on the Wiggly Podcast.
And actually, we've forgotten a birthday request. I don't know whether you did it, Hev, but you emailed me a customer. She said, my boyfriend always listens to the podcast. Please send a request. But I actually haven't brought that email with me. So we will do it. It was the 31st of March.
Oh, no.
So we will remember. We will give him an Easter request or something. I'm so sorry, listener. Maybe when you get back you can have a look, because we've missed the birthday request anyway.
Okay. Right, we're heading out to the polytunnels to hear all about the latest on, well, bilberry, I expect.
Oh no.
Have you got any bilberry here at all, Alison?
You got a few bilberry.
For those listeners who haven't kept up, we never have any bilberry. Anyway, so we've got 3 polytunnels.
Yeah, see they're all different colours.
Yeah.
That far one is a lighter one. It gets very hot. Very good for growing things this time of year. This one always remains quite cool because it's got this dull effect, creamy colour.
Oh,
I think this colour is the sort of one between those two is the best, really.
Right, okay. So what have we got growing?
All sorts of bilberry. If we go in this first one, it might be quite hot.
Okay.
And it all works off automatic watering, which comes on twice a day, early morning and in the evening. Obviously, you don't want to water during the day, otherwise it scorches everything. So it might look, some things might look a bit dry at the moment, but you can't water because it'll scorch them. And here we've got some field scabious strips that have been out of stock that can go out after Easter. All these are field scabious. Here we have some bilberry.
Oh, the famous bilberry. Right, please show me the root.
The roots. Maybe I'll just take one of these pots, it might be better.
Okay.
Oh dear. Yeah, they are very shallow rooted bilberry. I mean, they are grown on heathland and things.
Oh,
there we go.
Wow.
Very, very fibrous roots.
Yeah.
So a few of those can go out after Easter.
Lovely. We've got
Nice.
orders for 450.
Bilberry pie. We've got some foxglove and red campion in strips of 25s. We've got lady smock in pots. They're really, really hungry lady smock and require a lot of feeding every day.
Oh, I see.
And behind us we've got holly seedlings.
Oh, holly.
Yeah.
How long? This is a really slow growing process, isn't it?
This was sown in January.
Right.
And we supply these in May. These will be harvested in May as just little tiny seedlings which nursery people will pot on and go from there, because a lot of people have trouble growing holly.
Right.
I can see the little roots. So she's 100,000 here.
100,000 hollies. Actually, now there's 999,999. Oh, she's going to put it back.
Yeah, so it's taken 2 years to get to this stage, this holly, because of the seed doesn't germinate in the first year.
And it's grown what? Centimetre?
Yeah.
Wow, that's steady, isn't
And
it?
believe it or not, it's only 60% germination after the second year.
Oh, so how long will it take before you get a holly bush?
The holly bush, a 2-year-old tree is quite nice. I'll show you one in the next holly tunnel. And here we've got the yellow flag iris for the pom plant.
Oh, they look really healthy.
Yeah, and the what do you call these, Heb? Billy's, no, did you call these Billy's button?
No.
It's like water ravens. I've
Yeah,
said
water-
that before,
yeah, you
haven't
have.
I? Marsh marigolds.
Marsh
There you go.
marigolds.
And some
Which are out.
primroses,
Yeah.
cowslips on the end.
Gav,
And more bilberry here.
there's at least 35 there, Alison. And when I came over the river, the primroses were out on the bank.
Oh yeah, I've
They're
seen those. They're
absolutely
great, aren't they?
lovely. And what's the name of the dog?
Sparky.
And Sparky starred in Wiggly Catalogue a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a photo of him for the blog. Hello, Sparky. And we'll go to the next polytunnel. I think I'll better take my jumper off.
Okay, and here's the wild garlic that we featured a while ago. You smell that leaf?
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so we're going to make peanut butter and garlic leaf sandwiches.
So these are outside. Does that mean they're closer to being sent out? Are they hardening off?
Yeah,
or?
these can all go out now. Yeah, they're fine. There was a bit of a back order at one stage on garlic.
Well, that's
now
a
we've
good sign.
got loads.
If anyone wants wild garlic, now's the
Yeah,
moment.
it smells gorgeous.
Okay, let's
There are
go.
many pots. We go in another polytunnel.
Okay.
Loads of white campion in pots. Is it still on?
Yep.
And this little tray here is for Bishopstone Church for the Easter.
Oh,
They're going to do a little Easter thing round the font.
beautiful snake's head fritillaries,
Primroses,
cowslips.
wooden enemies.
Those wooden enemies are the most beautiful flower. Mark Eccleston took some pictures for us of Wood and Enemy. I'll put them up on the blog. By the way, he's got a new website, Dragons and Damsels, and if you want to check out his photography, he's becoming quite famous. He's got a regular slot in his local newspaper.
Hey, and we're in the middle polytunnel, slightly cooler one. More Reds Campion coming on, ladies' bed straw for the pond.
So what do you have to do every week here then?
Well, you have to check for aphids and they get attacked by slugs a fair bit, although there's a hive of frogs and toads in these polytunnels you wouldn't believe. Every time you move a load of pots, you find a frog. No, you don't, but you usually do. You just have to check for, it's really aphids and a lot of feeding, foliar feeding going on. Watering is most important. Although they're automatic watering, you do have to check the outsides, occasionally a nozzle or block or something, so you cannot go away from the place really.
And so every week, how many are you actually producing for sale, roughly? Every week
we put up a few hundred plants in pots. It depends on what's favour the most really. It goes in bits and stages of what's popular. Hello, Mother.
Hello, Alison's mum. Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, she's cringing. It's like being a radio.
I didn't realise she was going to be on the podcast. She's been quiet. Could do with a cup of tea, actually. There's more ladies' smock in pots which need more feeding. They've gone a bit green because of that. They're really, really hungry things.
And so, and here's a mousetrap with some cheese in it.
Yeah, we catch loads of mice in here.
So, you feed foliar feed, so they're not organic plants. Is that right?
You can't really be classed as organic because occasionally you may have to help them if they get aphids and things.
Right.
It's very difficult to grow a vast amount of plants on a big scale organically, although people would hate me to say that, but it is.
Yeah.
It is, it really is.
And do you think that overall that you're doing the best for the plants, doing it the way that you're doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, no chemicals are used. We've got coir-based compost mixed with loam, added fertiliser, and that's why we're foliar feeding them, because of the coir compost hasn't got enough nutrients in. So we're taking away the peat out of it. Yeah, we're doing our best, we really are.
And it must be a great achievement to realise that you're not actually depleting all the peat bogs.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'll show you the compost, it's outside. We buy about 20 tonnes at a time in. You've just trodden on some plants here. Oh, sorry. Should I charge you for those?
Yeah, I expect so. Just going back out into the sunshine, but the polytunnel is
so hot.
Boiling.
Right, this is it. In these big bags over here. I think there's an open one somewhere. We have it specially mixed for us, and it's our own special blend, which we're not going to reveal what percentage of what goes in here. Okay. It's taken a while to sort it out, but that's a mix of coir. It's quite beautiful. Nice compost, isn't it? And it's got added fertiliser in it.
Oh, I see, yeah. Very friable.
Yeah.
So what's in it?
Secret coir, loam and added fertiliser, Heather.
Thank you, Alison, for giving us an insight into the plants, and it was great to catch up with the sheep.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go inside and find out our birthday request details.
Yes, because Joe's been looking on my computer for me.
Yeah, so
fingers crossed.
Okay. Thanks, Al, for showing us around the farm. Just two other things. There's two other farmers blogging. I wanted to mention to you, we've got Farmer Jake already, but now we've got Rachel from Welsh Meat Direct. They have Welsh black cattle, and they have a cutting up room on the farm and sell the meat, so she's blogging.
Oh, fantastic.
Isn't that great? And I'm speaking at the Online International Podcasting Expo on the 20th to the 21st of April. So if you'd like to tune in, go to the blog and you'll see the links to the other farmers' blogs and the Podcasting Expo there. And we're really pleased that we will have Terry Walton on the show. He's the allotment guy from the Jeremy Vine show. And we'll be making a Wiggly Wigglers Saga podcast, so that's coming up. thanks for us from this week. I hope you had the most wonderful Easter ever. And Alison, you've eaten too many eggs.
How rude.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have you located this special request?
I've located it. I phoned Jo in the Wiggly office and she looked on my email, and it's Charlotte's boyfriend Mark Colline's 34th birthday. So happy birthday, Mark, and sorry it's a bit late.
Never mind.